Hare Hare. Narayanam Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiryaet Nashta Praeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bangum Langati Girim Yat Kripatamam Mande Shri Guru Nirtarinam Paramananda Madhavam. So I welcome all of you all. Today is Happy Uttarayanam, and it is the start of the Surya wave coming to the from Dakshinayam to Uttarayanam. Am I clear, dear?
Prabhu, your voice is clear, but maybe you can keep the camera a little away and angling on your face. It is going upwards now.
Actually, that's getting into an auto this mode actually. Tab hai na?
Okay.
Something, yeah, that iPhone it's a little bit funny device.
थोड़ा दूर रख सकते हो क्या उसको थोड़ा?
एक मिनट, वो एकदम क्लोज में लेता है. This is the further mouse. This is okay.
Fine. This is fine. और थोड़ा ऊपर करो उसका. The direction is going from bottom to top. If it is on the face, it will be good. अगर हो सकता है तो ठीक है. Otherwise, ignore it. This is fine, Prabhu. Okay.
I think this should be okay. Am I clear? Voice clear, Abhi?
Yeah, voice be clear. Face is also fine. This is fine.
Yes,
so, voice is clear.
So today we will be discussing on the Srimad Bhagavatam chapters of Canto 1, wherein we have Parikshit Maharaj ka janma hua hai. He's just taken birth, and it's like, yeah. And he has just taken birth from the Garbha of Uttara, and he was attacked by Brahmastra through Ashwathama, and Ashwathama had some nefarious thought process that he didn't want the Pandavas to grow. He was very much envious, Matsarya. Unke man mein Matsarya tha, envious tha. And for a Brahmana, that was never a good quality. But eventually, son ka asar भी से no, जिसके साथ रहते हो हम उसके जैसे सोचते हैं. So, staying with Duryodhana and Shakuni, all these Kutila people destroyed his mindset. And though he was a son of a great Brahmana, Dronacharya, eventually he fell down from his position. And he never regretted that. He felt that my parents were always, especially my father, was very much appreciative about Arjuna. So वो भी एक उनके मन में द्वेष था कि मैं जो भी कर लूं, my father would not appreciate that. So somehow he wanted to get that false appreciation. कभी-कभी जग में हम लोग appreciation के लिए बहुत कुछ कर जाते हैं. And he was that classic case, because the instruction by his father to him was that you are not a Kshatriya, but you can be a teacher of Kshatriya. But he wanted to prove his exceptional skills that he thought he was exceptional. And but we could know that जब उन्होंने ब्रह्मास्त्र चलाया, and when Vyasa told him to retrieve back, he said, I can't retrieve back. I only know to hit it. And then Dronacharya ने इसी वजह से उसको retract करने का विधि नहीं बताया था, because he knew his son very well, that he is not a capable person, he is not a responsible person. He is very much a disturbed child. So sometimes people do ask why Dronacharya did not teach the retraction of Brahmastra to him and why he taught it to Arjun. The reason for that is Dronacharya very well knew that if given the option of giving a shooting and retracting, he can misuse that. But he had faith in Arjun that Arjun would not do that. That is the reason he taught that to Arjun. So we can start with the verse now. Yeah. Tamuchur brahmanastushta rajanam prasharyanvitam esha hya asmin prajatantu purnam pauruvarashabha. So the translation, it begins with the learned brahmanas were very satisfied with the charities of the king. And addressed him as the chief amongst the Purus and informed him that his son was certainly in the line of descent of Purus. Can go to the next one. Daivena parighatena shukla samstham upeyushi rato anugrathaya vishnuna prabha vishnuna.
Prabhu,
Yeah,
you can allow others, meaning the devotees, to read the translation and the purport.
yeah, I would like to. That can be done. Nothing like it here. So someone can.
No, we will read it from.
Yeah, please read the translation. One of you.
The Brahmana said, "This spotless son has been restored by the all-powerful and all-pervasive Lord, Lord Vishnu, the personality of the Godhead, in order to oblige you. He was saved when he was doomed to be destroyed by an irresistible supernatural weapon. The child Parikshit was saved by the all powerful and all pervasive Vishnu, Lord Krishna, for two reasons. The first reason is that the child in the womb of his mother was spotless due to being a pure devotee of the Lord. The second reason is that the child was the only surviving male descendant of Purus, the pioneer forefather of the virtuous king Yudhishthir. The Lord wants to continue the line of pious kings to rule over the earth as his representatives for the actual progress of a peaceful and prosperous life. After the battle of Kurukshetra, even up to the next generation of Maharaj Yudhishthir was annihilated, and there were none who could generate another son in the great royal family. Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, was the only surviving heir apparent in the family, and by the irresistible supernatural Brahmastra, weapon of the Ashwathama, he was forced to be annihilated. Lord Krishna is described herein as Vishnu, and this is also significant. Lord Krishna, the original personality of the Godhead, does the work of protection and annihilation in his capacity of Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is the plenary expansion of the Lord Krishna. The all pervasive activities of the Lord are executed by him in his Vishnu feature. Child Parikshit is described here as spotlessly white because he is an unalloyed devotee of the Lord. Such unalloyed devotees of the Lord appear on the earth just to execute the mission of the Lord. The Lord desires the conditioned souls hovering in the material creation to be reclaimed, to go back home, back to the Godhead. And thus, he helps them by preparing the transcendental literatures like the Vedas, by sending missionaries of saints and sages, and by deputing his representative, the spiritual master. Such transcendental literatures, missionaries, and representatives of the Lord are spotlessly white because the contamination of the material qualities cannot even touch them. They are always protected by the Lord when they are threatened with annihilation. Such foolish threats are made by the gross materialists. The Brahmastra, which was thrown by Ashwatthama by the child Parikshit, was certainly supernaturally powerful, and nothing of the material world could resist its force of penetration. But the all powerful Lord, who is present everywhere, within and without, could counteract it by his all powerful potency, just to save a bona fide servant of the Lord and descendant of another devotee, Maharaj Yudhishthir, who was always obliged by the Lord by his causeless mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice. So there are some very beautiful points given in this particular shloka. The purport given by Prabhupada is just amazing. He says that, Daivena, by the supernatural power, Apratighatena, what is irresistible, Shukle unto the pure, Samstham, destruction, opposed to having been enforced, Rataha, restored, Vaha for you, Anuraga Arthaya, for the sake of obliging Vishnuna, all pervasive Lord, Prabha Vishnuna, by the all powerful. A lot of adjectives in this. Daivena Aparighatena. Many a times, the powerful people think that they can get away by using their power and destroy the people whom they don't like. But what they do not understand is that there are some souls who are directly under the protection of the Supreme Lord. Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that those who are Mahatmas, they are under my divine protection. Who is the Daivi Prakriti? That is Srimati Radharani, Sita Maya, Rukmini, Mahalakshmi, Subhadra. So these are the Antaranga Shakti of the Lord, and these Mahabhagavatas or Mahatmanas, they are completely protected. And Parikshat Maharaj was one of them, Yudhishthir Maharaj was one of them, the Pandavas were one of them. They were all Mahabhagavatas. They had only one intention in their life, to be serving as Krishna says. And you can see that, once the war of the Kurukshetra was finished, the question was asked that, okay, now that we have won, what to do? And immediately what Yudhishthir Maharaj says in Mahabharata, he says, let's go and consult Sri Krishna. Haraki Yudhishthir himself is Dharmaraj, son of Yamraj, Amsha of Yamraj. But he said, I would not go and ask for what is to be done on my own, but we will leave it to the Lord. Let him decide what is to be done. So this is the same mentality was there in Abhimanyu, and the same thing came in this wonderful child called Parikshit Maharaj. So we'll just go up a little bit. I would like to see the purport. Can you just go to the purport of this? Yeah. So the reasoning starts with two reasons. He was spotless, pure devotee, Anaga. We call it as Anaga. Anaga means one who is pure. And second thing was that he was the only child. And another third thing over here, what they say is that Krishna is called as Vishnu. Krishna is called as Vishnu. Vishnu is one aspect of Krishna, wherein he utilizes that aspect to take the care of this universe. Like we say Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, like Brahma the creator, Vishnu the sustainer, and Mahesh the destroyer. So in Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, this is how it goes. So what is the meaning of the word Vishnu? Vishnu means Sarva Vyapi, all pervading. How? There are two words. Vishwa, the universe, Anu, atom. One who is into the atom of universe is called Vishnu. हम उसको कहते हैं ना कभी कभी कण कण में भगवान. तो कण कण में भगवान जो है, जस्ट अ मिनट. Sorry, folks, there were some disturbance. Sorry about that. Hare Krishna. So when you say the word Kan Kan Mein Bhagwan, that is Vishwa Ka Anu Vishnu. And that is the tattva by which Krishna takes care of this Maya tatam idam jagat idam sarvam jagad avyaktam murtina matsthani sarva bhutani na chaham tesha avastita. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Maya tatam idam sarvam. Everything is coming from me. I am the whole and soul sutradhar of this. Jagat avyakta murtina. In this unmanifested form, it is there. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Everything lies within me. But I am not in them. I am still having my separate individual entity. And that entity is called Vishnu. So what we do normally, when we say the word, another thing about Vishnu is that he is the personality who takes care of the maintenance and sustenance of this entire living entities and this material world. And the proof of it, Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 10, verse number 42. He says, Ekamshana sthito jagata. O Kunti Putra Arjun, by my one amsha, this entire creation is taken care of. Why you want to know all these things? So many a times people think that Krishna is the avatar of Vishnu, so Krishna is subservient to Vishnu. Oh, a normal thinking, but that is not the right thinking. The Lord over here in his original form as Shama Sundara is always staying in Golok Vrindavan. I had shown you in the chart which we had shared with you last time. In that chart, you can see that Krishna is right up in Golok Vrindavan. Once in a day of Brahma, he comes down to Paritranaya Sadhuna, Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. And how that happens, Vinashaya cha Dushkritam is done by the Vishnu expansion, Paritranaya Sadhunam is done by the Krishna form. So for the devotees who love Krishna, he comes and gives his darshan and he takes them back home, back to Godhead. So Paritranaya Sadhunam. Vinashaya cha Dushkritam means there are some Dushkritis whom he kills by himself, just to give the satisfaction to the devotees. Now, mind you, killing is not Krishna's job basically. Exclusively or inherently, he is a personality with Basuri in his hand. The Sudarshan Chakra came out only to kill. Whom did he kill with Sudarshan Chakra? Anybody?
Shishupal.
Absolutely, Shishupal. So he also uses Sudarshan Chakra to cut the hands of Banasur. 998 hands were cut off Banasur by Sudarshan Chakra. But exclusively, he does not come to fight. You see, he is a personality where he has a more mukut and he's, Vedum Kanantam Aravinda Dalayataksham, Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam, Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya. That is the personality. But just to give satisfaction to his devotees, sometimes he comes as Hiranyakashipu, to be the killer of Hiranyakashipu. Like he comes as Narshinga Dev, he comes as Varaha Dev, he comes as Kurma Dev, he comes as Matsya Dev to satisfy his devotees, because the devotees want his association. But in reality, if you see, Krishna's energies are so powerful and they can take care. The latest of that energy that we came to in the last 2 years was Corona ji. So why Krishna has to come and kill? One coronavirus swept out the whole people. All the great intellectuals and the scientists and everything were like at the bay. They didn't know what to do, what hit them. And the so-called countries which were supposed to have the state-of-the-art medical system, there the worst, most of the people died. So Prakriti is very powerful. Krishna's Prakriti is capable of punishing in the form of Mahisasura Mardini, Durga, Chandika, Kali, Ambika. These personalities are more than enough. But still Krishna comes down. Why? To give happiness to the devotees. So we have to understand that the Lord is very much desirous to take us back. So for reclaiming what he does, he gives transcendental literatures like Vedas. He sends the missionaries. Missionaries are the acharyas like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these are all the personalities. We have Jesus Christ, we have Prophet Muhammad, we have Guru Gobind Singh Ji, we have Guru Nanak Ji. So these are the missionaries and the representative of the Lord. And they are all spotless because the material contamination cannot touch them. They are always protected by the Lord. And the Lord is telling only one thing in Bhagavad Gita. He says that Mamayavamsha Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. O Krishna, O Arjuna, you are all my Amsha. Amsha means mere bache ho tum. Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. But Manasastani Indriyani Prakritistani Karshati. You are just trying to exploit the material world and try to enjoy and be happy. which becomes the source of your sadness. We'll go to the next one. If required, we can break in between for the answers also. If you're okay, I will go to the next one. Shall we have the question answer session in the end? Prabhu, what is your take? Subhal Prabhu?
Prabhu, completely up to you. Generally, we allow anyone to ask a question whenever they want to. But if
So that forum is still open, Prabhu. If there was any doubt in the previous verse before I go to the next one,
yeah.
You can, yeah. I'll just read this word. Tasman namna Vishnurata iti loke bhavishyati na sandeho mahabhaga mahabhagavato mahan. Wow. So he says Tasman, just a minute, Prabhu. He says Tasmat namna, by name Vishnurata. One who is protected by Vishnu in the womb itself. Just imagine what a personality he must be. And in the Bhavishyati, he will be Mahabhaga, Mahabhagavata, Mahan. See the number of adjectives that have come. Vishnurata, Mahabhaga, Mahabhagavata, Mahan. Qualified by it. So people say, both Mahan Insan hai. Mahan Insan kisko bolte hai? So here Prabhupada gives the meaning. Qualified by all good qualities. And Mahabhagavat kaun hai? First class devotee of the Lord. And Mahabhaga kaun hai? Mahabhaga means Mahabhagyavan. भाग्यवान कौन है? वो जो भगवान विष्णु के संरक्षण में है. भाग्यवान हम कभी कभी बोलते हैं कि प्रभु ये बड़ा पैसे वाला है, तो वो श्रीमंत है, वो श्री के शरण में है, लेकिन ये विष्णु के प्रोटेक्शन में है. तो विष्णु के प्रोटेक्शन इज महाभाग, बिकॉज जो विष्णु के प्रोटेक्शन में आ गए, श्री अपने आप उधर आ जाती है. लेकिन जिधर श्री होती है उधर विष्णु अपने आप आना ये जरूरी नहीं है. Somebody can read the translation, please.
Hare Krishna. For this reason, this child will be known in the world as one who is protected by the personality of Godhead. O most fortunate one, there is no doubt that this child will become a first-class devotee and will be qualified with all good qualities. Purport. The Lord gives protection to all living beings because He is their supreme leader. The Vedic hymns confirm that the Lord is the supreme person amongst all personalities. The difference between the two living beings is that the one, the personality of Godhead, provides for all other living beings. And by knowing Him, one can achieve eternal peace. Kada Upanishad. Such protection is given by its different potencies to different grades of living beings. But as far as his unalloyed devotees are concerned, he gives the protection personally. Therefore, Maharaja Parikshit is protected from the very beginning of his appearance in the womb of his mother. And because he is especially given protection by the Lord, the indication must be concluded that the child would be a first-grade devotee of the Lord with all good qualities. There are three grades of devotees, namely the Mahabhagavata, Madhyama Adhikari, and Kanishta Adhikari. Those who go to the temples of the Lord and offer worshipful respect to the deity without sufficient knowledge in the theological science and therefore without any respect for the devotees of the Lord are called materialistic devotees or Kanishta Adhikari, the third grade devotees. Secondly, the devotees who have developed a mentality of genuine service to the Lord and who thus make friendship only with similar devotees, show favor to the neophytes and avoid the atheist or called the second grade devotees. But those who see everything in the Lord are everything of the Lord and also see in everything an eternal relation of the Lord, so that there is nothing within their purview of sight except the Lord, are called the Mahabhagavatas, or the first grade devotees of the Lord. Such first grade devotees of the Lord are perfect in all respects. A devotee who may be in any of these categories is automatically qualified by all good qualities. And thus a Mahabhagavata devotee like Maharaja Parikshit is certainly perfect in all respects. And because Maharaja Parikshit took his birth in the family of Maharaja Yudhishthira, he is addressed herein as the Mahabhagavata, or the greatest of the fortunates. The family in which a Mahabhagavata takes his birth is fortunate because Due to the birth of a first-grade devotee, the members of the family, past, present, and future, up to 100 generations, become liberated by the grace of the Lord, out of respect for his beloved devotee. Therefore, the highest benefit is done to the one's family simply by becoming an unalloyed devotee of the Lord. Jai Shri Ram.
Great. Thank you, Prabhuji. Amazing. The way how Srila Prabhupada is communicating to us is so beautiful. See, the points he made is that we read already in the translation as Mahabhagavata, a great devotee. And then we have Prabhupada giving us 3 grades of devotee. Madhyamadhikari, Kanishtadhikari, and Uttamadhikari is the Mahabhagavata, basically. So, Mahabhagavata or Uttamadhikari is one and the same. They did not see the difference between anybody. Now, what is Krishna's position? The supreme leader. Like the country has a president as a supreme leader or a prime minister as a supreme leader. Same way, in this entire creation, Krishna is the supreme leader. And he says that Mata Parataram Nanya, Kinchidasti Dhananya. O Kunti Putra Arjun, there is no truth superior to me. I am the best of all. And I create everything and I give them the necessary intelligence, the knowledge and everything. The chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna just says me. But not out of ego, out of his mercy. So not only he does that, because Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita ki Mahatmanas tu mam partha daivim prakriti ashrita. Kaunteya pratijani name bhakta pranashyati. So there are a few things which Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita and he lives to that promise. So the moment he says Kaunteya pratijani name bhakta pranashyati o Kunti Putra Arjun, my devotee shall never fall down. So when he told to Arjun, my devotee should not fall down, it means in that entire lineage, the devotees will never fall down. That's how Krishna takes care of that particular lineage. So much so that the Lord is so merciful that when he killed Hiranyakashipu, when he appeared in the form of Shri Narsinghadev, as a blessings to him, he told him that from here on, none of your descendants will be killed by me. See that, huh? None of your descendants will be killed by me. So Prahlad came, Prahlad's son was Virochan, Virocha's son was Bali, Bali's son was Banasur. None of them were killed by the Lord. Virochan was killed by, Chal Kapat se Virochan ko Indradev ne mara. And then Bali ko bhi Indradev ne mara. And then Shukracharya got Bali back to life. And Bali's son Banasur, the person who imprisoned Aniruddha, that is the great grandson of Krishna, उसको भी भगवान ने सिर्फ हाथ काट के छोड़ दिया. He had 1,000 hands, so Krishna cut 998 hands and let him go. Why? Because Krishna प्रतिज्ञाबद्ध थे कि मैं आपके. So same way, if he can do that to the Danava pravritti society, he can do it to the devotees. Definitely he will do, and that is what he did. He said that he is my pure devotee's child. These are the Pandavas who have always been surrendered souls to me. And I have a special affection for them. So, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Name Dveshu Astina Priya. I am equal to all. Sometimes people will say he's partial. He says, I am not partial. I am equal to everyone. But ye bhajante tu maam bhaktya. See the clause. अगर आप भक्ति पूर्वक मेरा भजन करते हो, मयि तेषु चाप्यम्, I am obliged to come to you. I am there in you, you are there in me. Because how can he overlook if some devotees want to be under his shelter? देखो, शरणागति का मतलब क्या है कि रामायण में बताते हैं कि एक दिन when Lord Ramachandra was walking, his legs were bleeding. So Lakshman felt very sad. So when he saw the feet, he saw there was one stone embedded in that. So he tried to remove the stone and Rama said, no, इस पत्थर को मत निकालो. क्यों? बोला वो मेरे शरण में आया है. Even if I bleed, मेरे शरणागति को मैं जाने नहीं दे सकता. Why? It has come under my lotus feet. So this is the reason we say, hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. Krishna is Daya Sindhu, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu. He is the one friend of Dina, one who is very poor or very poor by the fund of money or by the fund of things within the material world, but whose heart is clear. He is not the friend of the people who are kapti. So here he says this, that. So now he is a Mahabhagavata. And then he defines the three things: Madhyamadhikari, Kanishta. Kanishta means they go to the temple, do the worship, but they don't have respect for the Lord. They don't understand because lack of knowledge. Madhyamadhikari, what he does, he understands that one who is superior to me, he takes the blessing and learns from them. One who is equal to me, he gives them the due respect. And one who is lower to him, he gives them the due love and affection and trains him to come to his level. And one who is envious, usse wo dur rehta hai. Ye Madhyam Adhikari hai. But Mahabhagavat, Uttam Adhikari, they say everything fine. They don't see any defect in anybody. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuniche Vashva Pakeja Panditaha Sama Darshinaha. So, first class devotees are with whom we should also try and associate. In this case, it is Srila Prabhupada for us, that we are in his association through his books, through his voice, through his lectures, and his set of ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrinda. Vartaman Guru Vrinda means the current set of gurus who are there in the ISKCON, who are giving us Diksha and allowing us to progress in the path of spiritualism so that we all can attain the goal. But can you go down a little bit from 100 generations become? Yeah. So here he says that 100 generations. Now see, just by the dint of Maharaj Yudhishthir's grandson, being a grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthir, he got all the good qualities. And with that good qualities, what was the fruit received? Achieved 100 generations become liberated. So if you become the unalloyed devotee of the Lord, 100 generations will get liberated. And that's an important thing. Not in the material parlance, many people think it is important, but it is important. Okay, next. Shri Raja Uvacha Appesha Vashayan Rajrishin Punyashlokan Mahatmana Anuvritta Swidyasya Sadhuvadena Saptamaha. So here the quality bataiye. Somebody can please read the translation. Anyone on translation?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Translation. The good king Yudhishthira inquired, O great souls, will he become as saintly a king, a pious in his very name, and as famous and glorified in his achievements as others who appeared in this great royal family? Purport. The forefathers of King Yudhishthira were all great saintly kings, pious and glorified by their great achievements. They were all saints on the royal throne, and therefore all the members of the state were happy, pious, well behaved, prosperous, and spiritually enlightened. Under strict guidance of the great souls and spiritual injections, such great saintly kings were trained up, and as a result, the kingdom was full of saintly persons and was a happy land of spiritual life. Maharaja Yudhishthira was himself a replica of his ancestors, and he desired that the next king after him become exactly like his great forefathers. He was happy to learn from the learned Brahmanas that by astrological calculations, the child would be born a first great devotee of the Lord. And more confidentially, he wanted to know whether the child was going to follow in the footsteps of his great forefathers. That is the way of the monarchical state. The reigning king should be pious, chivalrous devotee of the Lord, and fear personified for the upstarts. He must also live and heir apparent equally qualified to rule over the innocent citizens. In the modern setup of the democratic states, the people themselves are fallen to the qualities of the Sudras or less, and the government is run by their representative, who is ignorant of the scriptural mode of administrative education. Thus, the whole atmosphere is surcharged with Sudra qualities, manifested by lust and avarice. Such administrators quarrel every day among themselves. The cabinet of ministers changes often due to party and group selfishness. Everyone wants to exploit the state resources till he dies. No one retires from political life unless forced to do so. How can such low-grade men do good to the people? The result is corruption, intrigue, and hypocrisy. They should learn from the Srimad Bhagavatam how ideal the administrators must be before they can be given charge of different posts. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, this is a very beautiful system that we have in our Vedic culture. When the child is born, we go and ask a qualified Brahmana. See, basically a qualified Brahmana has got two aspects. He should know astrology and he should know Ayurveda. Ayurveda and astrology are two sides of the same coin. One who knows astrology will be able to give a good suggestion as to what time, what nakshatra, what rutu, which medicines will work, and how the planets will calculatively give the effectiveness and work it out. So here, when they were telling, they were telling that he is a great child, he is a wonderful Mahabhagavata. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was very happy. He said, oh, you are already glorifying the achievements, that is fine, but will he be a good king? First thing what you will ask the Brahmana, Bacha acha to rahega na? Will he live long? Will he have good habits? Will he be healthy? Will he be able to achieve success in his life? Nobody is asking when he will die, whether he'll be bimar. No. Calculations, astrological calculations are meant to give you the right things at the right time. Yeah. So, going by astrological chart is not wrong, but using astrology for selfish motives can be detrimental to your progress in spiritual life. So it's not that we should not go for it. We should go for it, but we should know how to use this powerful tool, because this is given by none other than Sri Parashar Muni, the father of Vyasa, in Parashar Hora Shastra, where he has written volumes and volumes of books for the enlightenment of the people. And another person who has written this is Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni was given this blessings by Mahalakshmi, that may this be the source of income for the Brahmanas. Because Brahmanas basically do not have big source of income. They are basically Daridras. Daridras in what sense? Monetary wise, they do not have too much of money, where they would only live on some kind of charity. Because there was a curse by Mahalakshmi. If you all know the story of Srinivasa Tirumala Lord, how he came down. So Bhrigu Muni was appointed as an in charge to find out who is the supreme of the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh by the set of Brahmanas and Rishi Munis. So eventually, when he went to his own father's house, Brahma did not care for him. He said, my son is standing. So he asked his father, says, why you are not giving me a proper invitation? He said, come on, you are my son. What invitation? This house is yours. You can come and go. Then Bhrigu Muni said, no. He is in the mode of passion. He does not understand the difference between an Atithi and a son. Because that day he came as an Atithi. So from there he went to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was in conjugal relation with Parvati, and he could not pay the proper respect to Bhrigu Muni. And then Bhrigu Muni was very angry and he cursed him. And with that same anger, he went to Vaikuntha, where Narayana was, in Yoga Nidra, and Mahalakshmi was pressing the feet. And after some time, Mahalakshmi Antardhan ho gayi. When Mahalakshmi is not seen with Narayana in the lotus feet, it means she is invisibly sitting on the Vakshasthala, Shrivatsa. Those from the south will understand the word Shrivatsa. So, this is from the Ramanuja Sampradaya. So, there is a beautiful design on the chest of the Lord, which represents Shri. And what happened? Bhrigu Muni came and stamped the chest of the Lord in anger. He said, how dare you sleep when I am there standing in front of you to be received by you? And Narayana just opened his eyes and he took his lotus feet of Bhrigu Muni in his hand and he said, I hope my chest didn't hurt you because it is hard like a steel. It's cold and hard. And I'm not a proper devotee. I'm very sorry. I did not see you. Please be seated on my Singhasan. So Narayana made him sit on his Singhasan and massaged his feet. And Bhrigu Muni said, oh, this personality is so graceful. He is the personality. He is the supreme person. He is to be worshipped and he is to be followed. So like that, Bhrigu Muni and Parashar Muni, they are the astrologer, writer of our Vedic Sanatan Dharma. So their credentials are unquestionable. But if you misuse the science, it is not the problem of the science, it's the problem of the man. Why? When Einstein made E is equal to mc square, he never anticipated in his life, or he must have never known that somebody is going to make an atom bomb and kill the people. So similarly, the knowledge in itself can never be wrong, especially that comes from Shruti and Smriti. But if interpreted or used in a wrong way, then you cannot blame that particular Shastra. And there is a reason for that. See this. They asked the Brahmana, will he be a good king? Will he be able to take care of them? Because we ran the show as per Krishna's instruction. And we want our great-grandson also to run it that way. Grandson, sorry. And in comparison to that, you see today's situation, the political situation, no need to discuss. It is disgusting. Because all Shudra mentality people come together for the sake of becoming powerful. I would not like to take names because different people have affiliation to different leaders. So condemning one and glorifying others is not my business, and neither we should get into it. But we can see one primary difference to what I have seen, that the current head of the state of India does not mind practicing his religion as it is supposed to be. He goes, he prays to the Lord, he requests the Lord that may he have the blessings, may he be able to serve the people with the great. Whether he's successful or not is secondary, but he at least has that feeling. Otherwise, the low-grade people will only fight for some small enjoyment. And they will exploit the resources of the state till they die. So one has to understand that from the Shastric perspective, you judge a person. Let the Shastra be the basis of judgment. Thank you. We'll go to the next verse. Can we go to the next verse, Prabhu? 19. Brahmana uchuhu Partha prajivata sakshat Ikshvakur eva manavaha Brahmana satya sadhascha Ramadashtatarayatha. Now see this beautiful thing. Huh? Now what the Brahman is telling, looking at his horoscope, he's telling that he will be like Ikshvaku. I think there is some disturbance.
Should I read?
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. And he will be the follower and respectful to Brahmanas. He will be like King Ikshvaku. He will be truthful by promise, like Lord Ramachandra. Please proceed with the translation.
The learned Brahman said, O son of Pratha, this child shall be exactly like King Ishwaku, son of Manu, in maintaining all those who are born. And as for following the Brahmanical principles, especially in being true to his promise, he shall be exactly like Rama, the personality of the Godhead, the son of Maharaj Dashrath. Praja means the living being who has taken his birth in the material world. Actually, the living being has no birth and no death. But because of his separation from the service of the Lord and due to his desire to lord it over material nature, he is offered a suitable body to satisfy his material desires. In doing so, one becomes conditioned by the laws of material nature, and the material body is changed in terms of his own work. The living entity thus transmigrates from one body to another in 84 lakh species of life. But due to his being the part and parcel of the Lord, he not only is maintained with all necessaries of life by the Lord, but also is protected by the Lord and his representatives, the saintly kings. These saintly kings gave protection to all the prajas or living beings to live and to fulfill their terms of imprisonment. Maharaj Parikshit was actually an ideal saintly king, because while touring his kingdom, he happened to see that a poor cow was about to be killed by the personified Kali, whom he at once took to task as a murderer. This means that even the animals were given protection by the saintly administrators, not from any sentimental point of view, but because those who have taken their birth in the material world have the right to live. All the saintly kings, beginning from the king of the sun globe down to the king of the earth, are so inclined by the influence of the Vedic literatures. The Vedic literatures are taught in higher planets also, as there is a reference in the Bhagavad Gita 4.1 about the teachings of the sun god Vivishwan by the Lord, and such lessons are transferred by disciplic succession, as it was done by the sun god to his son Manu, and from Manu to Maharaj Ishwaku. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, and the Manu referred to herein is the seventh Manu, who is the Prajapatis, those who create progeny. And he is the son of the sun god. He is known as the Vyavastha Manu. He had 10 sons, and Maharaj Ishwaku is one of them. Maharaj Ishwaku also learned Bhakti Yoga as taught in the Bhagavad Gita from his father Manu, who got it from his father, the sun god. Later on, teaching of the Bhagavad Gita came down by a disciplic succession from Maharaj Ishwaku, but in the course of the time, the chain was broken by unscrupulous persons, and therefore it again had to be taught to Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So all the Vedic literatures are current from the very beginning of creation of the material world, and thus the Vedic literatures are known as Apurva, Seya, not made by man. The Vedic knowledge was spoken by the Lord and first heard by Brahma, the first created living entity within this universe. Maharaj
Just
Ishwar,
hold it, Prabhu. Just hold it.
yes,
We'll break it into it.
yeah,
Because this is a very long puppet. Now, there are three things which are very important in this particular paragraph. Of course, the whole paragraph is beautifully mentioned, so we read word by word for our purification and understanding. But what happens over here is that Praja means living being who has taken birth in the material world. Please understand one thing. The living bird, living entity, has no birth, no death. Atma is Aja, like Paramatma. But the reason why we are taking this body again and again is because of our desire to become the Lord. I'll give you a small synopsis on this. In the Dashmula Tattva, written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, chapter number 6 and 7 talks about how the soul comes to the material world. Now, mostly the soul does not actually fall down from the spiritual world. That is the rarest of the situation. More often than not, when we take birth, it means when we are created from the Lord's body. When we are created from the Lord's body, the Lord places us on the Subal Prabhu. By any chance, can you put the Goloka chart? If you can share it.
Yeah, Prabhu, एक minute.
Yeah, no worries. Meanwhile, I'll continue to speak. So, at that point of time, when we take birth, we are not under Maya, we are fully cognizant. As a soul, Krishna has given us the full knowledge that we are supposed to know. Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Yunyan Maja Ashraya Asamsham Samagramam Yatha Nyasasat Achnu. ज्ञानम तेहम सविज्ञानम idam vakshama sheshatata yajnatva na bhoyogyam jnatvam avashishyate. Jnatvam avashishyate means after studying and knowing this, nothing else is remained to know fully. Everything is taken care of. So that is your condition. When you are taken birth from Krishna's body, Vibhinna Amsha. We are Krishna's Mamaiva Amsha, Vibhinna Amsha. So you are placed, because you are Tathastha Shakti, you are neither spiritual nor material, you are in between. So you are placed in the Tathastha area. So when we are going to the Tathastha area, you will see that where we are, I will show you now. And it will give you a very clear picture as to what exactly happened from there. Come between the material and spiritual world where Mahavishnu is lying, Prabhu.
एक मिनट प्रभु ये I need to see how this to move it out.
That's it. Okay. And increase it to around 75%. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now go where Mahavishnu is lying down. Yeah, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Yeah. So you see, Prabhus, you can see the Brahma Jyoti, you can see the half yellow Sadashiv Dham and the half black Mahakal Dham. And Vishnu is lying down. When Srila Prabhupada explained that Krishna in the form of Vishnu does the creation and the killing job, the Vishnu that is lying there on the causal ocean, that is the Vishnu is talking about. So these all come from Krishna. Now, when at the time of birth, the arrow where Subal Prabhu has put, that is the border of the spiritual and the material world. The dark blue is the material world, and the light blue where Jan Brahma Jyoti is there. That is the spiritual world. Now, what happens over here? At the time of birth, you are kept on that in that area. And from there, you can see the whole of the material world down, what's happening, and the whole of the spiritual world up, what's happening. And you have all the cognizant knowledge that is enough for you to take a decision. And the Lord is standing there, Maya Devi is standing down. That time, mind you are not in Maya. Maya has not touched you yet, because you are pure soul. So you see both the sides. Down in the material world, you see that you can become the Lord of something. Up, you see that everybody is a servant and there is only one Lord. So then the soul will contemplate, should I go down, should I go up? If I go up, it is eternal, but I am a servant. If I go down, it is temporary, but I am master, at least for some time. So most of us took the route of going to come to the material world. आज जो हम लोग इस भौतिक जगत में है, वो स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड से नहीं गिरे हैं. स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड को त्याग करके हम लोग नीचे आए हैं, ये सोच के कि हम मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में कृष्णा के जैसा एंजॉय करेंगे. ईश्वर हम अहम भोगी सिद्धो हम बलवान सुखी. That is the mentality of the people. So you have to understand that you cannot blame the Lord that because of you this has happened. Because of you this has happened. So when you choose to go down, then Maya attacks you. But the Lord is so merciful, he sends his missionaries and representatives, or sometimes he himself comes down to the dark hole and he says, let me take back home my children back to Godhead. So those who are intelligent souls like you all who are sitting on the forum now, this is the right step in the right direction and it will have its own beautiful impact. No two ways about it. But if at all you made a right decision of going up from there, like Garuda made. Garuda is written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that he took a decision. He said, I'm better off being the Lord's Sevadhari. And he went up. And you know what is the population disbursement? The bottom creation is 3/4, 1/4, and the top creation is 3/4. So there are spiritual world is 3/4 of the creation and material world is 1/4 of the creation. And the distribution of population is 1:9. 90% souls are in Vaikuntha planetary system. 10% are in the material world. So we are all here thinking that we will be happy, we will enjoy, but unfortunately it never happens that way. We only get more and more deeply integrated into the pool of the material world. We can go back to the purport again, Prabhu. You can keep this open. If required, we can switch in between.
So Maharaj Ishwaku, one of the sons of Vavashta Manu, he had 100 sons. He prohibited meat eating. His son Sasada became the next king after his death. Manu, the Manu mentioned in this verse is as the father of Ishwaku, is the seventh Manu. The name Vishwasta Manu, the son of sun god Vivaswan, to whom Lord Krishna instructed the teachings of Bhagavad Gita prior to his teaching them to Arjuna. Mankind is a descendant of Manu. This Vivasta Manu had 10 sons named Swaku, Nabhaga, Drishta, Suryati, Naryasata, Nirbhaga, Dista, Karlisa, Prasada, and Vasuman. The Lord incarnation Matsya, the gigantic fish, was invented during the beginning of Vivasta Manu's reign. He learned the principles of Bhagavad Gita from his father, Vivaswan, the sun god, and he reinstructed the same to his son, Maharaj Ishwaku. In the beginning of the Treta Yuga, the sun god instructed devotional service to Manu, and the Manu in turn instructed to Ishwaku for the welfare of the whole human society. Lord Rama, the supreme personality of the Godhead, incarnated himself as Lord Rama, accepting the sonhood of his pure devotee Maharaj Dashrath, the king of Ayodhya. Lord Rama descended along with his plenary portions, and all of them appeared as his younger brothers in the month of Chaitra on the ninth day of the growing moon in the Treta Yuga. The Lord appeared as usual to establish the principles of religion and to annihilate the disturbing elements. When he was just a young boy, he helped the great sage Vishwamitra by killing Subahu and striking Mari, the two demons who were disturbing the sages in their daily discharge of duties. The Brahmins and Kshatriyas are meant to cooperate for the welfare of the mass of the people. The Brahman sages endeavor to enlighten the people by perfect knowledge, and the Kshatriyas are meant for their protection. Lord Ramachandra is the ideal king for maintaining protecting the highest culture of humanity, known as Brahmaniya Dharma. The Lord is specifically the protector of the cows and the Brahmins, and hence he enhances the prosperity of the world. He rewarded the administrative demigods by effecting weapons to conquer the demons through the agency of Vishwamitra. He was present in the bow sacrifice of King Janak, and by breaking the invincible bow of Shiva, he married Sita Devi, daughter of Maharaj Janak. After his marriage, he accepted exile in the forest for 14 years by the order of his father, Maharaj Dashrath, to help the administration of the demigods. He killed 14,000 demons, and by the intrigues of the demons, his wife Sita Devi was kidnapped by Ravan. He made friendship with Sugriv, who was helped by the Lord to kill Bali, brother of Sugriv. By the help of Lord Rama, Sugriv became the king of the Vanaras, a race of gorillas. The Lord built a floating bridge of stones on the Indian Ocean and reached Lanka, the kingdom of Ravan, who had kidnapped Sita. Later on, Ravan was killed by him, and Ravan's brother Vibhishan was installed on the throne of Lanka. Vibhishan was one of the brothers of Ravan, a demon, but Lord Rama made him immortal by his blessing. On the expiry of 14 years after settling the affairs of Lanka, the Lord came back to his kingdom, Ayodhya, by flowered plain. He instructed his brother Shatrughan to attack Lavanasur, who reigned at Mathura, and the demon was killed. He performed 10 Ashwamedh sacrifices, and later on he disappeared while taking a bath in the Saryu river. The great epic Ramayana is the history of Lord Rama activities in the world And the authoritative Ramayana was written by the great poet Valmiki. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shila Ramachandra ki Jai. So we will just speak a little bit on Lord Ramachandra's activities, which is beautifully mentioned over here. Now, just try to understand one thing, that Rama is dharma. Once he gives his word, he'll not go back. I'll just give you an idea about how Lord Ramachandra's astrological chart was depicted by Vasishtha Muni at the time of his birth. Now, mind you, Lord Ramachandra, when you see, it comes as April. So he was born with a chart where 7 planets we have, and out of that 5 were Ucha. They were in their full power. Sun was in Aries. You can take this down if you want. It's pretty interesting. Moon was in Taurus, Cancer. Jupiter was in Cancer. Mars was in Capricorn. And Saturn was in Libra. When you have these kind of, this is called Pancha Mahapurush Yoga. And out of this, if you have 1 in your chart, 1, your life is great. If you have managed to get 1 in the right place, not in the wrong place. And here in the place, so what does it show? That the planets, they wanted to give their best services to the Lord. The planets, they wanted to give the best services to the Lord. And the nakshatra what Lord Ramachandra took was Punarvasu, which is governed by Jupiter. Those born in Karka Rashi with Punarvasu nakshatra, they are very saintly and religious people by nature. Those who have Surya in Aries, Mesh Rashi, and those who have Mangal or Mars in Capricorn, they are very, very, very powerful military administrators. They are the best in winning the wars. They are the best in planning strategies. And of course, Lord Ramachandra, by the dint of his sun in Aries, he was a great king. No two ways about it. Mars in Capricorn, he was a great military person. And we saw his military prowess. We saw his, administrations and leadership skills. For the sake of the people who want to understand what is leadership, Ramayana has got some beautiful leadership skills. Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, he knew everything. Why? Why he was a very intellectual person? Because Guru and Chandra were together, which makes Gaj Kesari Yoga. Gaj means elephant and Kesari means lion. So Gaj Kesari Yoga, when they come together, the man becomes very, 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 very popular, very, very famous. He is known for his good qualities. So Jupiter means all wisdom. So he was the master of all knowledge. And Moon in Cancer means nurturer. One who nurtures everybody like a mother. And that was the quality of Lord Ramachandra. He could never say no to anybody as far as giving his mercy was concerned. And he could never say yes to those who were against Dharma. And what makes him so particular about Dharma? Saturn in Libra, because Saturn is the planet of justice. And in Libra, it is Ucha. So he was like, Libra means Tula. Tula means, what do you say in Hindi, dear? English for this one?
Balance.
Balance. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much. So Lord Ramachandra was very balanced. He could make no mistakes and he could understand the things and perceive things. But because the Moon and Guru, they are in Cancer, he was very kind at heart. So even see, after reaching the shores of Lanka, he gave one more chance to Ravana. He said, listen, give me back my wife and I shall spare you. But फिर Ravan थे बोले मारना तो मारो. I don't care. So that is how it happened. So here, if you go to see, this is how it goes to show how Rama was a great king. And if you go to see Mother Sita, she was a proper Kshatrani because she took her Rashi was Simha Rashi and Magha Nakshatra. I'm sorry to say that the kind of depiction what Ramanand Sagar gave in his Ramayana about a crybaby Sita, that was absolutely wrong. Sita was like fire. Ravan had to think 10 times to talk to her. And she is the Ardhangani of the Lord. And of course, what went there was only Chaya Sita, what not the original Sita. Original Sita ko to hath lagate bhasma ho jata. So these are the personalities you can understand. And one more thing I will tell you about Lakshmana. Lakshmana was also born in Kark Rashi, but in Ashlesh Nakshatra. So the sign of Ashlesh is Sarpa, and Lakshman is Adishesha. So he took that nakshatra. Bharat was also Kark Rashi, but he took Pushyami Nakshatra. Saturn, very disciplined, very austere, very tough, very no nonsense. You could not fool him. He will not give up dharma for anything. So he took the Khadaga of the Lord Ramachandra and worshipped him. So see, three brothers, Kark Rashi, Nakshatra, Punarvasu, Pushyami, Ashlesha. Pushyami, Punarvasu, Ramachandra, gracious, Guru. Pushyami, Saturn, Nakshatra, and Ashlesh means Buddha. Buddha means Vacha and knowledge. And when you know that Balram is also the Karaka of original spiritual master, so his Buddhi and his communication has to be the best. So you will find these things in the Shastra. When used in the right way, you can give the correct description of the person, that what it is, but provided we know where to take this from. I think Subal Prabhu, I'll open it for question answers. I'm lagging by 2 shlokas because these are big puppets. I would just read them at some point of time and give my inputs and share the notes with you, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Because
sure. Okay. Otherwise, Prabhu, we can skip the reading the purport for 20 and 21, and you can
yeah,
just
I'll just read the shloka. Yeah, that will be great, dear.
yeah, and that just give yeah, okay, fine.
Esha data sharanyascha yataha anushiranaha shibihi yasho vitanita swanam dausharyanti eva yajvanam. Somebody can read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. This child will be a munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered, like the famous King Sibi of the Usinara country. And he will expand the name and fame of his family like Bharata, the son of Maharaja Dushyanta.
Actually, the beauty about these purports are what, you will get to get the story of these personalities, which is no need for you to, philosophical bhi hoga, but you will be able to understand the story. So we go to the next verse now. Dhanvi namagraner esha tulascharuyaradvayaho hutashva eva durdarshaha samudra eva dustaraha. Translation, somebody can read. Amongst the great Roman, the child will be as good as Arjun. He will be irresistible as fire, as the unsurpassable as ocean. Wow. So, you see, the qualities what the Brahmanas are giving, this is based on the astrological calculation, Prabhus and Matajis. All that I can tell you is that astrology is the Vedanga, Upavedanga, given to us by the mercy of the Lord through Parashar Muni and Bhrigu Muni. Jaimini and all were also there, but these are the 2 main exponents. And one who knows to use this calculation properly, who is responsible, who is pure, who is not a pakhandi, his predictions will always come true by the grace of the Lord. Because remember one thing, when an astrologer predicts, it is not his capacity to calculate and see. It is the blessings of the Lord by which he can see what is coming. Astrology, on your strength, you can understand a few aspects. But when it requires a deep understanding, it is only given by the Lord. Because there are times when I see a chart, we are unable to see even beyond one step. And there are times when we see a chart, we go 5-7 steps. So it is very clear over here that in the coming days, in the coming purport, you will see that whatever qualities they are talking about this child is based on the astrological chart. So we conclude the lecture over here and we go for the question answer session.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Krishna Sarup here.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Sarup Prabhu Pranam. Thank you for joining. Happy Uttarayana for everybody. Bolo.
Same to you, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, just one question on when we say that we were part and part of the Lord in Golok, and somewhere we have shown our back to the Lord. So the question is, what kind of consciousness we had that we had to come here? Is it that we remember that there is a material world where we can enjoy, or it was just an envy with the Lord that pushed us to the material world?
See, Prabhu, there are two ways to it. You're finished with the question or something else?
That's my question.
Sorry. So first and foremost, Prabhupada's answer to this was that rather than finding out how you came down, you go back to Godhead and see for yourself what happened. That was his answer. And then the most often quoted verse is Ichha Dvesha Samuttena Dvanda Mohena Bharata 726 Bhagavad Gita. But there is also an understanding given by his, as I gave you in the class, by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, our seventh Goswami, that how the Jiva came into existence on the day one. And at that point of time, how they were given a choice of, I think Subal Prabhu can put the Goloka chart now. How we were given an opportunity to decide with our small, minute independence. Whether you want to lord the material world and go down, or you want to be the servant of the Lord and go up. So most of us are actually fallen down from this area, not from Golok.
Okay.
Yeah, most of us. It's very rare that once you go to Goloka, you might feel like coming down. It's rarest of the rarest case. But the rest of us come down. And the gurus and the achar and the missionaries who come down, they don't fall down out of their karma. They are directed by the Lord to go and give us an opportunity to come back to God. So as for Bhakti Thakur, I will share those notes with you on the forum at some point of time, where you can see in the Dashmula Tattva how Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains the data about how we decided to go down. And then another beautiful thing is that it's not that once you fall down, you cannot go. The moment you realize that you have had it, had enough of this, then automatically the Lord's agencies will get in touch with you and you will start Urdhva Moolam Gacchati. You will start going up. Because under any condition, Prabhu, Maya Devi knows that you are the son of the Lord, part and parcel. So she cannot hold you. She has to give in. But provided like see, most of us who are there now in the spiritual life, initiation, second initiation, Shastra reading, preaching, ये सब क्या है? Because we had enough of this nonsense, Janma after Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. So this Janma, we somehow came to consciousness, अरे भाई, बहुत हो गया, अभी निकलना है. So the moment you thought, the right candidates, the right agents are there in front of us, the hand is there, and the slow progress is there.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Prabhu, there is one article, one link is there. Mohan Prabhu had sent it to me. This person had done a good amount of research in this topic. One of our own devotees, referring to various articles and Prabhupada's lectures. So he has concisely put that in one of the links. I'll share that link in the group. It's very interesting and nicely explained.
Please do that, Prabhu. It will be great for everybody.
Yeah, I'll send. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, in Bhagavad Gita 7.6, 7.5,
Aparayam
the
Vidaswan-
Lord has mentioned about his superior energy.
Hmm.
Besides
Aparayam
these
Vidaswanyam
Om,
Prakriti Vidhi Me Param.
yeah,
That's the verse.
I
right?
wanted to know, still I have a doubt, even after a lot of discussion with Subal Prabhu. Is it he's talking of the Para Prakriti or it is talking about Tathastha Shakti?
There, from that perspective, Aparayam Vidaswanyam Prakriti Vidhi Me Param Jiva Bhuta Mahabhav Yayadam Dharete Sagat. That is Jiva Muta Tathastha Shakti, because you are superior to the 5 bland Bhumi Rapa Nala Vayu Kham Mano Buddhir jo hai, usse superior hai. So there you are given the title of better or a superior Prakriti because you are conscious and they are not. But Para Prakriti, then again it comes Daivi Isha Gunamaya Mama Maya Duratya. That is Mother Durga or Maya. She is Para Prakriti. That in that particular verse, when we talk about the Jiva, that is called the Tathastha Shakti.
Okay.
Exclusively, yeah, that in that area. Because that is the reason you are on the border. No, this border is Tathastha, no, spiritual or material, you can see that dark blue and light blue, no. Because we are Tathastha Shakti, we were kept on the Tathastha area. Ab kahan jana hai? Aapko upar jana hai, niche jana hai. So when we decided Aparayam Vidaswanyam Prakriti Vidhi Me Param, we came Manasastani in the end, Prakritistani Karsati. I have merged 2 verses, 7.5 and 15.15. 15.6, sorry. First 2 lines are of 7.5 and last 2 lines are of 15.6. So this is our, yeah.
15.7.
15.7, sorry, yeah. So here, Prabhu, it is absolutely the energy of the Lord is we as Para Prakriti, because we are superior to the Prakriti. But the main Para is, then the hierarchy goes up. Brahma is there, Shiva is there, Durga is there, Ganesh is there, Kartikeya is there. Then slowly you get into the spiritual world and Sadashiva, Ekta Jiv Sadashiva we say, and the Vishnu Tattvas. So the line goes that way.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thanks.
Hare Krishna. Anybody, any question? Okay, looks like there is no question, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. It was wonderful. Always a pleasure to hear you. Thank you so much.
Same here, Prabhuji. It is a great forum to be on, and the people are over here very liking to increase their knowledge and go in depth. So that is the reason we use so many tools over here to ensure that. And on the astrology part, I would like to ask a bit of forgiveness also, because I was too technical over there. Some of may not like it, or some of may not like it also. But I just gave you the synopsis as to how this wonderful knowledge can be utilized in the right way to understand things in perspective. Rather than knowing that what is in future, try to find out what your qualities are and work on it, and what your challenges are and overcome the challenge. We will be a better person, Prabhus.
Jai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you very much.